What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This right here is the 2025 Polaris Slingshot 10th Anniversary Edition, and it is pretty stunning, as you can see. Now, this does celebrate 10 years of the Slingshot, which went into production in 2015. But on this video, I'm not going to talk about everything, because if you didn't know, I had the Slingshot R before this one. So you can go and watch that video for all the details. But this video, we will focus on things that are unique for the 10th anniversary. Now, I must say, other than this special 10th anniversary, the Slingshot R is top of the line. But for this 1 year, here you guys go. And this one right here, as it sits, my tester is a little over $41,000. And is it worth it? I think so. Let me show you why. Now, the one thing you do notice is this radiant pearl paint, which is exclusive for the 10th anniversary Slingshot. But up front, things are very dramatic, as if the proportions of this vehicle wasn't dramatic enough. They played with a lot of contrasting colors. Now, up here by this scoop, you do have the black Slingshot decals, and of course with the white stripes going alongside. And over there, you see the turquoise with what they call the ghosted patterns with that 10th anniversary badge in that. Now, over here you have that matching Slingshot logo, which is black and red. And when it comes to this black, guys, this is a nice touch. And I have to say, the red and the black has a lot of metallic flakes in it, and this vehicle looks stunning in the sun. But to me, in essence, it gives it wings. And if it wasn't even better, it added a nice width by making these tips red. Now, dropping over here, them adding this white, once again, I know I keep saying the same thing, but emphasizing the play with colors was perfect on this vehicle. It had it so much attention right there, and they even added the red decal, which was a great idea because that would have been like a big white blank canvas. And down here, you do have those plastic skirts. Of course, you don't want that to be paint because it will scratch. This thing sits just a few inches from the ground. Now, moving alongside here, one notable thing is this 18-inch rim, and not just the rim, but in the center you have that 10th anniversary Slingshot badging. And if it wasn't even a good coincidence, you have that Brembo brake, which is also red and white. Now, coming back here, this area is pretty much the same. I don't know if you guys can see that little bit of turquoise. I'll show you guys that in a minute, but that is part of the roll cage. Now, right here, once again, with this vehicle being that red color and this black plastic, added a nice amount of contrast. And if that wasn't enough, this turquoise running through here, it really shows you that this vehicle was well thought out. Now, speaking of that turquoise, I do have to mention, in the front and the rear, the coils for the suspension are painted that turquoise as well. Now, coming back here, you do have that white stripe. Once again, everything looks fast on this vehicle. You do have that gloss black right here, that metallic, which runs up until part of that cage structure. And you do have speakers, the optional speakers back here, which sit in a turquoise housing. But since this is a bad angle, let's move around back. Now, if you notice, my angles in the daylight keep changing. That's because I keep having people ask me questions about this vehicle, but I absolutely love that. But continuing back here, this is the back of that speaker once again with this turquoise, and you do have that gas cap right here, which the gas cap is such a great design. It's also in that turquoise coloring. But going over here, you do have these white contrasting stripes. I love that they put that up there. You would have think they wouldn't have done that, being it is the top, but it worked out well. And of course, here you have the large lettering, letting everybody know you are in a Slingshot, but just not any Slingshot. You are in a 10th anniversary, and that matters. That's what they were going for, designing this color scheme. And of course, right here, you have that third brake light, which is individual LED lights leading all the way down here to that reverse camera. And I'm sure you guys did not think about this vehicle having a reverse camera, but I'm glad they added that, because as you can tell, looking behind you is pretty much zero visibility. Now, right here, you do have that clear housing for that tail light. The LED light runs right here. Those are the brake lights. Dropping low is where everything gets interesting, because just like the front with those 18s, I think the front is 9.5 inches wide, the rims, but these rims right here are 20 by 11 inch, and it does have the contrasting red brakes in there. But of course, that 10th anniversary logo. And if we swing around on the other side, here you see all the mechanisms at work. You see the back of those brakes, and it has that contrasting turquoise support beams going all the way up here that holds together the entire rear axle. You do have that belt right there. This is a belt driven vehicle. And of course, the other touch of details, the turquoise for the coils for the suspension. I mean, that was a great design, but guys, that's pretty much it for the difference on the outside. Let's hop in. Now, since this is a pretty small car, I'll do this interior POV. Now, let's start up here on the dashboard where you can see the continuation of design from the hood to the interior of the vehicle, which is pretty great. And it runs all the way down there back to this pretty much shark fin, but we'll get to that in a second. From what I know, this is a 7.5-inch windscreen, and if you look right here, it has 2 tweeters for that Rockford Fosgate sound system. Now, dropping down here, you do have the traditional gauge cluster. Nothing big going on in there. It just gives you all the instructions, everything you need to know about the vehicle, how fast you're going, the trip, mileage, all that stuff. But you do notice it has 220 on the dashboard, and from what I'm told, it has 125 governor. Now, you do have your mode selector over there with the arrows up and down, which help you select those features I just told you about. But look at this. This is impressive. A fully leather wrapped steering wheel that isn't just done with one color. It's done with the 2 colors for this color scheme, and it still has the white stitching going on all around it, which is pretty cool. And if it didn't need any more contrast, they went ahead and added the white, which brought a lot of attention right here. To me, it made this Slingshot logo, the center focus of this, pretty much like a picture. Now, you do see all your regular controls for your radio and all that stuff over here. You do have cruise control, and that is your button to switch from Slingshot sport mode to a comfort mode. And this is, of course, to adjust that cruise control like a traditional vehicle. You do see the paddle shifters behind there, and of course your regular turn signal right there, turn on the headlights. Coming over here, you do have that large touchscreen with features like navigation, Apple CarPlay, and come on, Polaris, it doesn't have Android Auto. Don't you see the Android sitting down there? We need that Android Auto. But there are your other buttons right there to select for your trips and all that. Tells you information about the vehicle, but we'll get to this in a second. Dropping down here, I love that they contrasted this with white. It makes, when they contrast everything on this vehicle, it makes every piece of this vehicle stand out, which, once again, greatly done, Polaris, greatly done, Slingshot team. You do have your push start button, your traction control, your emergency lights, and this button is for those LEDs. You flick them up and down, and from what I'm told, you can download a Slingshot LED app, and you can pretty much turn those lights any colors you want. And there are lights on the side of the seats as well. Now, dropping down here, you see this padded center console that does say Slingshot. It is branded, guys. And coming back here, you see the reverse neutral drive, and that is for your paddle shifters right there. The one thing people get confused about is when they don't see a park button, they don't know what to do. So me, I like to put it in neutral, put on the handbrake. Some people like to leave it in the gear. I don't, unless I'm on a hill or something. But going back, you have your cup holders, and you have a pretty small center console. It's cool to put keys or garage clicker. As you can see, I got that stuff down in there. But coming back this way, we're gonna drop down here because you can see how far back it goes with those pedals back there. But this is what I was talking about in the beginning. All the touches of turquoise, and they decided to do the entire cage turquoise, which was a great addition. Now, coming over on this side on the dashboard, on the other vehicles, it does say Polaris, but as you see, they placed the 10th anniversary badging right there, which was a great touch. They went all out for this vehicle. Now, the seats are branded with 10th anniversary. Once again, this entire vehicle is meant for you to stand out. And you can see right there, heated and cool. Yes, guys, this vehicle does have heated and cool seats. If I push that start button, light this up, you guys can see that it actually turns red and blue. Now, this seat, of course, it's comfortable, guys, and you can see there was a lot of thought put into this seat with the stitch patterns of that white, with the black inserts, the perforated leather, and of course that helps with the heated and cool seats. But right up under here, before I forget to mention, there is that regular cigarette lighter, that 12-volt plug, and there is a plug, of course, for the trickle charger back there. Now, if I pull this for adjusting a seat, just pull it up so it'll fly up, you can see there is a compartment back here. Now, let me get the key because it is lockable. I'll use this key that's in the key fob to unlock it. And it's pretty much a trunk in essence. You can see I have the helmet back there, and it's an XL helmet. I have a big head, but look at that storage size, guys. And I can actually fit my camera bags in this. You see how easy that went in there. But right there, once again, you do have that Rockford Fosgate turquoise speaker, which is a nice contrast. But guys, this thing is pretty cool. There is the look, the aesthetics of the Slingshot. Now let me show you guys a few things about the infotainment screen. Now when you turn on the auxiliary, it plays a video, which is pretty cool. But when you push it again, it turns on everything. So when this is ready, we'll hit that OK button. And let's start right here on the end. It says loading rider screen. Now up here, you do see the levels of your connected phone, the battery levels right there, which is a great touch. Over here, you have your compass, which is north, and 72 degrees with the time. And right here, you have pretty much the information of your current ride as far as how long you've been driving, the stop time, elevation, distance, and of course, that is your voltage for your battery. Now coming over to the navigation, pretty much traditional navigation, which is a great feat in a vehicle like this. And it does have that little Polaris logo right there that actually goes to some of your settings. You can turn the brightness up right here. I have it on auto, and right there you can quickly change the car from comfort to sport mode, and even look at that rear camera. Yes, guys, this does have a rear camera, just in case you was wondering. Now I'll go back over here to the navigation, and you can see it has the compass. It'll tell you how fast you're going, so you really don't need to leave the navigation when you're doing something. So right here, of course, you can see that phone design right there. My phone is connected. It shows your recent calls, contacts, your keypad, pretty much everything you would get in a traditional vehicle when it comes to phone connectivity. And there is the Bluetooth button right there. Once again, this does have Apple CarPlay, but it does not have Android Auto, which is a bummer. Now this button is pretty much that same button at the top right there. I showed you guys for some quick settings. Right here is where you can turn on the music for your connected Bluetooth device like your phone. And of course, right here, these are traditional volume buttons, what you do have on the steering wheel also. And I'll click that one button on the steering wheel, guys. You can see right here, it does give you easy access to, once again, that same thing with the navigation, the voltage, your mileage, and the compass all on one screen, which is a great touch. And I'll slide over here real quick so you guys can see this well lit. But let's take this thing for a spin. Now driving the Polaris Slingshot 10 is a little different. One, because I just got rid of the manual stick shift. And guys, trust me, I do prefer helmets, but you guys can barely hear me when I got on my helmet. So for this time, no helmets, guys, but we're not gonna do any freeway riding. But the Polaris Slingshot 10, this is one different vehicle. It gets a lot of attention, and that's what Polaris was going for, I guess, too. It's like advertisement of 10 years of the Polaris Slingshot. I get a lot of questions, just riding out, going to the grocery store and all that. Yeah, I can't grocery shop in this. Very light. You're not spending $200. Well, I don't know. You might, because you have a compartment behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat that is big enough, actually more than big enough for the helmets, and I could stuff my camera bag in it. So it's a nice amount of space, but it has really been a lifestyle that I know I've been missing out on. I don't know how else to say it, guys. When we look at these Slingshots, hold on. When I do that, it's kind of hard. The automatic is a little tougher to get the wheels to spin. The gears shift as if you're in a stick shift, which is, it takes some getting used to, but it's quite fun. It adds a different drive to this vehicle. Switching lanes, downshift one time and it just goes. And then you just shift it up to 5th gear, like everything went away. Now, in regards to driving on the highway, I think since Polaris is starting to advertise this, well, they've advertised this as a street car, you know, I think they should add a 6th gear. The 5th gear is a little rough when on the freeway doing 70. For me, it revs too loud, and of course, it's using up more of this premium gas. So that is my only thing when it comes to the transmissions, is maybe Polaris, you should think about a 6th gear. But other than that, this thing does what it's supposed to do. Fun, fun, fun. Now there you have it, guys, a look at the 2025 Polaris Slingshot 10th anniversary. And if you want more detail, once again, go and watch my review of the 2025 Slingshot R. But this is a stunning vehicle. I hope you guys like it. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you are interested in some of the people who design the cars we drive every day, please check out my other project called Becoming You, where I interview those individuals. But until next time, guys.